Hi, DSA Coder. Just a quick recap and lessons learned on dynamic array coding. Um, and really, the big lesson here, I think, is runnable code. And we want to, I think it helps to think about what we're doing when we're actually delivering code or submit or handing off code to another team or a release manager, uh, a grader, or eventually it's going to be QA teams and end users, right? What are we doing? What are they going to do then? Are they going to read our code? Are they going to look for code comments? Generally, they are not at all. They won't even look at the code. Very rare. Um, I don't think I've ever actually looked at code during a release or anything like that. It's all about running the code. That's what it's all about. So they're going to want to run that code. So we want to give them code that runs. If it doesn't run, it blocks progress. These are that's the name blocker bug. It's not a scientific name or anything. It just means it blocks the code from running. It makes the code unusable. If we're handing off something unusable, that's not good, right? It's kind of like borrowing a car to a friend, but the car doesn't run or something like that, right? It's something we don't want to do. We want to give them usable code that runs. And you can read through this there. It's very short and the enemy of the blocker bug, the thing that can help us avoid blocker bugs is smoke tests. That's one, I should say, one way to do it. And the smoke test, again, a quick read here for you. We'll just look at an example here, and there's examples in Java and JS, but here's a quick example in Java. Look at this little test here, one-liner. This test here actually tests the runnability of the code, and it tests something very important, which is the constructability of objects. If we can't construct objects, which is a common blocker bug, no objects, no code, right? I mean, no software. It's not going to work at all. So this one little line of code here seems so harmless. It's going to find blocker bugs for us. And then we can hit core methods, size, add, remove index, things like that. And if we want to, we can keep going a little further and we can do like load test, just iterate 5,000 times, 2 lines of code here, right? Iterate 5,000 times and add 5,000 employees to this dynamic array, which is the subject here in this case, right? And that puts a little load on it. But all of this, you can see how all this is just a little bit of code. So a little bit of late coding, these smoke tests, can tell us if there's smoke, if there's fire, if there's blocker bugs, in other words. So that's the lesson learned, I think, for this. It's a good lesson moving forward, I think, because it's something when we hand off code, we always want to hand off clean, runnable code. So we'll talk to you soon.